Hello, my name is Dr. Pat Doro, and I am your local dentist. I've been in private practice here in Manhattan for over 15 years. It looks like it's another sultry summer Saturday night. And I bet a lot of you are like me, you're single. And right now you're getting ready to prepare for that traditional Saturday night date. You've probably already taken your shower or your bath, and right now your girls putting your makeup on, and you guys, you're finishing shaving. Or maybe you're picking out the outfit you're going to wear tonight that's appropriate. And of course, the very important accessories to go with it. Unless you're taking that skinny dipper cruise around New York Harbor tonight, then that part doesn't matter. You probably washed your hair, and now you're putting the mousse in the gel and you're styling it. You put on your deodorant, you dabbed on a little cologne. And why are you doing all this? Is because you want to make a good impression on your date tonight. But you know what? All that confidence will be lost if you suffer from a condition known as halitosis, or bad breath. Yes, you guessed it. That's one of the topics of tonight's show. We'll be talking about bad breath. And yes, this is live from New York. It's Saturday night, which means in a little while, I'm going to put the phone number up, and you can call in if you have any questions about bad breath or halitosis. In fact, Bob, why don't you put the phone number up now at 247-8090. And if you have any questions about bad breath or about dentistry in general, call in. And before you go out that door on that date tonight, maybe you should listen for a few minutes to make sure that date's going to be successful. Now, a lot of people who have been watching the show have heard me talk about bad breath ad nauseum for the last 15 years. And the reason I'm bringing it up tonight is because someone took all that information and actually published it. And he sent me a copy of the publication. It's a pamphlet, and he actually says it's available to the public in an 800 number. And I was reading the book, and it's exactly what I've been telling you guys for a long time. But what's so cute about it is his opening statement in the book. He said, according to a former chief, this is a newspaper article that he has written up here. According to a former chief rabbi of Israel, bad breath is a legitimate reason for divorce. Shlomo Goren was quoted by the Item news agency as saying several couples were granted divorces in recent years after citing halitosis as the main reason. Now, I thought that's ridiculous, but I have a Supreme Court divorce judge as a patient, and I showed her this, and she couldn't stop laughing. She says, Dr. Doro, I'd say in about 50% of the divorce papers that I go through, somewhere along the line, halitosis, or the fact that the spouse had constant bad breath, was one of the main reasons that they said they couldn't live with them anymore. So you married couple out there, you better pay heed to this show too. Okay, and don't forget the phone number is 247-8090, and call in if you have any questions. Okay, now as I told you in the past, it says that 65 to 75% of the population has chronic bad breath, but only 10% of that chronic bad breath are due to medical problems. And we've been over those medical problems, like upset stomach, gastric reflux. You people know who you are because you've been diagnosed. But some people are running around undiagnosed with these medical problems. And that's why we say go to the dentist, let him smell your breath, because he can tell if that bad breath is due to something we can fix or maybe to a systemic disease. Oh, we have a phone call? Hold on one second. Hi, you have a question?
Yes, Dr. Pat.
Hi.
How are you this evening?
Oh, great.
My question is about halitosis. Is that a pre-symptom or pre-signal about gingivitis?
Oh, you've seen the show before, right?
Yes.
Thanks for your question. That's my next thing that I'm going into. It's mostly, the most common cause of bad breath is usually gingivitis. Now, gingivitis means inflammation of your gums. And it usually happens if you don't brush or floss your teeth properly after a few days. You start getting this. And they say about 99% of Americans at this point in time has gingivitis right now. It might not be all over your mouth, but it could be the tooth in the back that you never reach back to brush. And what happens is, in your mouth, as we speak, there's 3.5 billion bacteria sitting around there, bacteria organisms. Now, we can't get rid of the organism, the bacteria, because every time we breathe in, we're breathing in new of these little guys, more of these guys. So what they do is any debris you left on your teeth because you didn't brush or floss properly, all these organisms start noshing them. They set up little picnic tables, and when they nosh on this debris, they give off an odor or a toxin. And most of you people know what that odor is. It's rotten egg. It's the release of sulfides. That's the most common part of the odor. Now, what it says in the book is, how do you know if you have bad breath? Well, there's a real simple test. Okay, you can, usually we used to say ask someone, but people are so embarrassed. So what you can do is take some unflavored dental floss, the thick kind that I always recommend. You can use Glide floss, or my favorite, my favorite is Dento tape. It's unflavored, it's very, very thick. And you take it and floss an area of your mouth that you don't usually floss. Most people, they don't usually floss all their mouth, just the front teeth. Hold it away from your mouth. Hold it away from your mouth for about 5 minutes and then smell it. And you'll be surprised. Now, why can't you smell it after you take it out? It's because the human body is very adaptable. And what happens is our olfactory sense, our sense of smell, adapts to any smells around us. If you go into a fish store, you smell fish right away. But stick around there for about 5 to 10 minutes and you don't smell fish anymore. It's not as though the fish odor has gone away, it's just that your nose has adapted to it. So our noses adapt to our own breaths. So what we have to do is take it away and then smell it. Now, this doctor in this book, this is Dr. Richard Miller's book, he included in his book a piece of gauze. And this is another way to tell if you have bad breath. And what you do is you take a piece of gauze, and you can get this gauze at any drugstore. You can ask your dentist for some because they have plenty of it. And you take the gauze, you wrap it around your finger, and you wipe the back of your tongue. Again, keep it away from your mouth for about 5 minutes, and then sniff it. And if you smell that odor, guess what? That's what you're breathing on to people. Okay, so why the back of the tongue, Dr. Doro? Well, some people, they brush and floss their teeth so much, but they forget that their tongue does harbor a lot of this debris, and of course, all those billions of microorganisms. So I tell my patients, if you want to be really sure you have kissing sweet breath, not only do you floss thoroughly and brush thoroughly, but you should scrape or brush your tongue. But then the patients say that when they brush their tongue, they gag. So you can see on the market something that's been available to the Chinese for centuries are now available to Americans because this is a very common problem. Just excuse me and see where I have it. Oh dear. Something called a tongue scraper. I just can't seem to find it right now. But a tongue scraper, they're kind of expensive. You find them in select drugstores. But if you can't find a tongue scraper, what you should do, or it's really easy to do, is you get a soup spoon, just like this. And you see the shape, it's the shape of the soup spoon? It's got that nice curve that will fit the back of your tongue. And rather than gag when you try to clean your tongue, you just take this and once rub it across the back of your tongue, and that will debride the area and give you sweeter breath. Did you say we had another phone call? It's on the bottom? Okay. Hold on a second. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, Dr. Doro.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay.
I was wondering if it's actually a wife's towel with the baking soda and brushing your teeth with baking soda, if that actually works or not.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really a wife's towel, or does it actually work?
It really does. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Okay. The reason it works, think about it. What do you do with your box of baking soda? What do you use it for? You put it in your refrigerator. Why? To absorb odors. You put it down your sink. Why? To absorb odors. You put it in your sneakers. Why? To absorb odors. So baking soda is a wonderful deodorant for the breath. It's a natural deodorant. But the reason why we really, really like baking soda, why Grandma always said use it, it's because it's the mildest abrasion and cleansers on the market. When you want to polish something, you don't polish it with a toothpaste type of thing, which is made out of sand and pumice and all those things. You use baking soda. So what baking soda does is you brush with it, you're polishing your teeth. That means the debris is not going to adhere to the teeth as likely as if you polish it with a more abrasive cleanser, like all the toothpaste on the market, which causes scratches in your teeth. The debris hangs around a little bit longer so the bacteria can set up their picnic tables again and give off that odor. So now you're going to see on the market hundreds and hundreds, now you're going to believe this, First, you see the first toothpaste that came out with this new concept, but actually it's grandma's concept, was Arm & Hammer, the original makers of baking soda. They came out with their baking soda powder. So this is the best, besides pure baking soda, this is the best toothpaste to choose if you want to preserve your gum tissue and your teeth tissue, because it's the mildest abrasive toothpaste on the market, and it's got fluoride in it too, if people want the fluoride. Okay, but people still don't like that baking soda taste, so Arm & Hammer came up with their baking soda toothpaste, and then they came up with their baking soda gel. And then they went one step further, and they came up with tartar control baking. You know, people have got that tartar control problem. You want to use baking soda? You use the tartar control formula. Okay, whoops. And even, a lot of people know this company, Tom's of Maine. They have their natural, they call it natural baking soda, because baking soda is natural. They've had this toothpaste on the market for years. So Crest and Colgate and all those Procter & Gamble companies said, hey, wait a second, we got to keep up with this. So they came up with their baking soda toothpaste also, like Sensodyne. You know, a lot of people out there use Sensodyne. Now they got the baking soda toothpaste. So you can get this. And then, let's see, what else we have here? We have Pearl Drops. Everybody knows Pearl Drops. They came up with their baking soda formula. And who else do we have here? See, Sensodyne, Crest, Colgate. Here's Colgate's baking soda, and they put it into a gel. So you'll see more and more products on the market that all have baking soda, because we learned over the years and years and years of brushing your teeth have actually worn the teeth away. Now I got to remind you, you'd want to call in. The phone number is 247-8090. If you have any questions to ask, I don't know if the phone number is showing. Now, Arm & Hammer just came up with a new toothpaste, and a lot of my patients are using this, and they told me that I had to talk about it. I've talked about in the past a company called Metadent. There's a little package, you can hardly see it. I don't know if the camera could pick that up. I didn't want to bring the whole big thing, but the Metadent had the baking soda and peroxide in a pump formula. It looks like that. And the reason the peroxide was thrown in, because peroxide is a natural antibiotic. So Arm & Hammer said, hey, we got to keep up with this. So they came up with the baking soda and peroxide toothpaste called ProxiCare. And a lot of my patients said, you have to talk about this, because they really enjoy the taste of this. It's got the fluoride, fresh mint taste, and you've got that peroxide with a better taste than using some of the other products. So look for these baking sodas on the market. It's better for your teeth. Now, we have another phone call. Is it down? Yeah. Okay. Hi, you have a question?
Yes.
Yes.
You just held up a toothpaste called Sensodyne.
Yes.
And does that really make the teeth less sensitive?
Yes, it does.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. And
But
how many applications do you think?
let me tell you how to use it, okay?
Right.
Now, the manufacturer will probably get mad at me for saying this, okay? Hold on and watch what I say, okay? Now, the reason people have sensitive teeth is because most of us are fluoride babies. We had fluoride in our water, so our teeth are hanging around a lot longer. And we were educated to brush our teeth 3 or 4 times a day. And we've been using a kind of abrasive toothpaste and maybe brushing a little too hard. And what happens, what we're doing, if you see in this photograph, the part here used to be covered with gums, and by scrubbing our teeth, we wore away the gum tissue, exposing this part of the tooth. This part of the tooth has nerves in it. This part is dead. It has no nerves. You can brush like crazy. You won't feel anything. But this part has nerves in it. And so now when you brushed away all that nice insulation of the gum tissue, every time you drink something cold or hot, it goes right to that nerve, and you got sensitive teeth. And you know, you eat the ice cream, you go, ooh, ooh, and ice cream you can't enjoy anymore. So what we'd like to do is, of course, we'd like to put the gums back, but we can't. The gums won't grow back. Now we can do 2 things. We can cover it up like we did on this, just to hide the aesthetic problem. We re-educated this patient. So now when he brushes, these are laminates I put on here. He brushes the laminates instead of brushing the gums away and the teeth away. But most people can't afford laminates. They don't really need laminates. So instead, we recommend these sensitive teeth toothpaste. Now, Sensodyne was invented, it was one of the first ones on the market, and it was invented in 1960. Now, my dad found something very interesting about Sensodyne. My dad was a dentist, and he found out that patients, if they brushed with Sensodyne night after night, in a couple of weeks the teeth got desensitized. And what Sensodyne does, it literally puts the insulation back into the nerves of that part of the tooth. My dad found out that it works much more efficiently if you take the Sensodyne, and after you brush with your regular baking soda toothpaste, before you go to bed, you take a little bit on a clean finger and burnish it or rub it into that part of the tooth that's sensitive and leave it overnight. And my patients say their sensitivity goes away in 2 nights instead of 2 weeks. So I would recommend that you use this toothpaste on those specific areas instead of as a toothpaste altogether, because it is an expensive toothpaste. It's much more efficiently if you actually put it on and leave it on overnight so it can insulate that area and you don't feel that sensitivity anymore. Okay, thank you for your question. Do we have another phone call? No? Okay. Now, thank you for your question. Okay, another thing he talks about in here is how do you tell someone if they have bad breath? You know, your spouse and your friend or your office people, how do you tell them that they have bad breath? Well, the doctor, of course, the first suggestion he has is put this book on their desk. This is the book right here, and they'll get the hint. You know, it's like someone who's got deodorant problem, put deodorant on their desk, and they'll get the hint. Put this book on their desk, or talk to them about, you know, seeing your dentist, because the dentist is the one who more likely can tell that person they have bad breath without a problem. Oh, we have another phone call? Hi, you have a question?
Yes, good afternoon. Are we damaging our teeth by using those electronic toothbrushes, devices?
Which one do you use?
I'm using an Oral-B.
Okay, does your dentist know you're using this? Or your hygienist, does she know?
I started using it, and I never told him, and when I went there for my checkup, he was like saying to me, well, your teeth look great, but I'm wondering if I'm, you know, somehow I guess damaging the enamel of my tooth because they're so clean now or whatever.
Perfect. Thanks for your question. Okay, the problem with a lot of these automatic toothbrushes and everything is that some people overdo it. They put them up too high, and their gums are sore to begin with and flabby, and they literally brush the gums away. And I see a lot of my patients a little too much brushing with these automatic toothbrushes. They brush too hard. So if your dentist says, oh, or your hygienist says your teeth are so clean, and they don't say anything wrong with it, go ahead and use it because it's wonderful. But a lot of my patients have done too much damage, especially the one in particular was the inner plaques. They just pushed it too hard into their gums and their zeal, and all that stimulation, they didn't feel the pain that they were causing, and they literally made their gums recede. So before you do choose one of these toothbrushes, ask your hygienist or your dentist, would it help me? Because sometimes just what you're doing with your toothbrush is just fine enough for you, and you don't need those artificial aids. And I'm always worried about patients who cut themselves with it too. I see a lot of problems. But if you have arthritis or a problem, I keep saying artificial, something's wrong with me tonight. Those automatic toothbrushes seem to work awfully fine. Okay, and then you know what? In this book, he does recommend those automatic toothbrushes. And one in particular, which I forgot to bring tonight, is the ultrasonic toothbrush, because you don't press it to your gums, you just touch it to your gums and your teeth, and it vibrates everything off your teeth. So we don't have that problem of brushing a little too hard. Thank you for your question. Is it up or down the phone? Up? Okay. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, doctor. How are you?
Woo!
Better turn that down.
Yeah.
Are you a Buffalo Bills fan?
Yeah, how'd you know that? Oh, did you disappear? Oh, I guess I lost him. Okay. Thank you for your question. Yes, how did you know I was a Buffalo Bills fan? I remember because I talked about them and lamented them over the years, you know, wished them luck at that Super Bowl, and of course we never seemed to make it. Yes, I'm originally from Buffalo, and I've said that in the past. Thank you for your question. We have another phone call. Hi, your question?
Yes, hi, Dr. Pat.
Hi.
I have a receding gum line. I'm from the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and I would like to know
You like to know if you should get it fixed? Yes, there's plenty of dentists on the Upper East Side that would take care of that problem for you. Okay. I have to make a few announcements here before I forget. I'd like to congratulate people on certain marriages. Two of my patients, Dr. Mike Herrera and his wife June, I'd like to congratulate them on the wonderful wedding of their daughter a few weeks ago, and it was just a gorgeous wedding at Tavern on the Green. And I'd also like to congratulate the marriage of Leonora Carboni to Dr. J. Dudu, and they're two people that really should be very happy together. Okay, now, in the past, you've seen me talk about all my siblings, talking about Buffalo. I come from a very large family. My father was a dentist, and pretty much all my brothers and sisters have been on the show before. And tonight, I brought along someone who has not been on the show before and someone who has been on the show before. And I'd like to introduce to you my baby brother, Reggie. Now, Reggie has been on the show before. You've all seen this picture when we were talking about, where'd he go? When we were talking about braces. He's the kiddo that I put the removable brace on, and he's been my He's been my model for braces, and this is my brother, and there he is with the braces on, and now the camera can cut to my brother with the braces off. This is my brother Reggie. Reggie, give a big smile to the camera. Okay, now Reggie came from Florida, and Reggie said, I'm not going to go on the show, I'm too nervous, but I said, look, we'll go on with an old pro. Reggie, who's this guy that's in your arm? What's his name?
His name is Spike.
Spike. Now, for you viewers out there, you know Spike when he was called Cuspid. He's been on the show since he was 2 weeks old. He was on for almost a year until he grew up and he moved to Florida. So Spike, he's a natural hair. And I like that haircut you have on Spike. Why do we have a haircut like that on him?
It's called the Florida cut.
Yeah, and look how dark he is. Does he swim in the ocean?
He loves the ocean.
Yeah, see, so he came from a New York City dog to a Florida dog, and actually New York City's been kind of a wonderful weather for him because it reminds him of home, and he's been running around the streets here getting familiar to all the sights and smells he hasn't seen in about, I think he's about 3 years since he's been here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a long time. You're a good boy. And do you remember your name used to be Cuspid? He used to be called Cuspid because he had the extra cuspid in his mouth. Now, one of the main reasons I brought my baby brother here today, Reggie, is because I need someone to help me demonstrate something that's absolutely fantastic. I haven't been on the show for a while because I fell and I hurt my back, and I've been having a lot. I actually broke my tailbone, which is my coccyx, and I've been in a lot of pain. And rather than take painkillers, I've been suffering. And I had an inventor of a new device come into my office the other day, and he gave me the device to use. And you know, without drugs, without therapies, I got rid of my pain. And the reason why is because the device uses your body's own natural chemicals, your own pain-killing chemicals, serotonin and endorphins, to get rid of pain. And then the inventor came into my office the other day, and his name is List, and this device is called the List Cranial and Body Stimulator. And he says, Dr. Doro, instead of using something like this on your patients, now you guys, you want to get scared out there? You know what this is, right? Instead of using something like this on your patients before you do your procedures, we can use his body stimulator to actually deaden the areas in the mouth and be able to achieve dental procedures without the use of any drugs, including the Novocaine. And I'm going to do a little demonstration on my brother right now on this. And if anybody wants any information about this device, and a lot of people, it's not a TENS unit, it's similar to a TENS unit, but a TENS unit just closes the pain gate. What this does, it releases the natural painkillers that you have in your body. Okay, and if you want any information, if you have chronic pains, or if you want to know about going to the dentist's office with this, if you're afraid of the needles, you can always call or write my office. And the way this thing works, and you're going to love me for this, Reggie, is this is the unit right here, and the patient, you're the patient, will hold this, okay? And we take 2 electrodes, and we take one, and all we have to do is put one here on the face, right here. There we go. And this one, surprisingly, this electrode, this is a little sponge right here. I'm going to have to, can we hold this on this hand?
Sure.
I need this hand. Okay, this one goes here. It goes on the hand like this and goes right here. Now, why does it go there? Remember what I've told you in the past? If you have a toothache, you want to get rid of your toothache, the old Chinese method of acupressure is when you have a toothache, you rub this part of the hand, because we all know that this is connected to this, to the mouth. So we put the electrical stimulation there, and we turn this on, and you know what? You control this yourself. Now, can you feel any sensation here? Okay, now what you do is you turn it down so you can hardly feel anything. Can you still feel it?
I don't feel it.
Okay, good. So we turn it down so you don't feel it. And then we can take our dental instruments, and you know what we can do with this? Anything with soft tissue, like those deep cleanings that drive you crazy with the hygienist. You know what the hygienist uses these instruments. Am I getting you guys scared now? They take these little curettes and scalers. We can actually use this on our patients without the Novocaine. Anything with soft tissues, we can do gingivectomies with this. And you know why? Because I did this on the inventor. I literally did gingivectomies, which is cutting his gums, and he didn't even flinch for a second. So I'm going to touch this, and you tell me what you feel. And we can work anywhere on the mouth. Now, do you feel anything? I'm actually literally sticking this straight into his gum. What do you feel? Do you feel the pressure?
Just a little pressure.
Just a little pressure.
No pain.
Okay, now, I don't think, I'm going to do it in the back because I don't want you to see the blood. I'm going to literally cut his gums right down. Okay, what does it feel like? Do you feel any pain?
No pain.
Just the pressure, okay?
Exactly.
And you don't feel any vibrations or anything.
No.
Right. So this is wonderful for real patients who are scared to death to come to the dentist because you thought it's going to hurt. Or even worse, scared to go to the periodontist like the dentist told you because you don't want your gums cut because your gums hurt so much. So if you want any information on this, if it's available, you can write or call my office and you can take this to your dentist, this information. I'm sorry, you can turn it off and you can take this off your face.
Turned it the wrong way.
Yeah, you can turn it too much. And what it is, there's a battery in here, there's no plug here, so we're not putting electricity in. And like I said, people are used to this for pain when they use the TENS unit. This works a lot more because it's using your body's natural painkillers. Okay, so again, call or write my office. Do we have a phone call? Yes, no? I see the lights here. No, we don't have a phone call. We do, okay. Hi, you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi.
I'd like to know, is it possible if you have a TMJ problem for like maybe 2 years, is it possible for you to have a cyst, to develop a cyst
Where?
in your jaw?
In your, up here, down here, where?
No. Down. And you're down, yeah, exactly.
Down here? Okay.
It's possible.
Have you seen a dentist?
Yeah, and
You took x-rays and checked to see what that is?
Yeah, but you know what? I have another question is, those x-rays, they don't always pick that up, do they?
No, we also use ultrasound now, just like when you have ultrasound. Yeah, and we also do something called Panorex, and it does pick it up. Just like an ultrasound picks up a developing fetus, we can pick up tumors like that. But that sounds awfully serious. I hope you are seeing a dentist, and you are going for follow-ups to any specialist he sends you to?
Yeah, well, when I go to a dentist, they don't seem to find any problem, you know. It's just a
Do you
normal
feel it?
Yeah, I feel it. I know there's a problem.
Right. Could you see it?
It's a little swollen underneath, so I know, you know, there's a problem.
Okay.
And it's the only reason why it's a problem is because I had some teeth extracted on the other side, so I have to eat on one side.
Oh dear.
That's the problem right
there.
there. So I'm overworking that muscle.
Right. Okay. You know what? I just think you just gave me the answer. What it might be is a muscle spasm. And so you might just have to go for relaxation therapies. You might have to go to a physical therapist. But I would go to another dentist, like an oral surgeon, and they're more specialists on the jaws and the muscle problems, and get a consultation from him because he's a little bit more specialist in this area. And it might just be you need a device or just replace the teeth on the other side and that muscle spasm will go away. Or if it is a pathology, get it taken care of now before it really is a problem. Okay? Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Okay? Now, people, please don't be frightened to ask your dentist these questions. If you're not satisfied, get another opinion. You take all the x-rays he took on you and you can go to another dentist. We don't like to radiate our patients, so any x-rays you have will follow you around the world, whatever dentist you go to, and don't be scared. Is it the end of the show? Whoops. I'm sorry, this has been Stimulus and Dr. Pat Doro. If you need any questions, I will say goodbye to my brother Reggie. Please say goodbye to my brother Reggie. And have a nice safe trip to Florida, back to Florida. And I'll be back with you in a few weeks. And please have a successful date tonight. Have a good marriage. And because you're going to clean up that wonderful breath. And I'm glad to send the 800 number for this pamphlet to anybody who calls or write my office because I forgot to bring the 800 number. See you next time. Bye.